Help! Help! I'm 19 and facing being kicked out. What should I do? How
Oh
about
boy.
that? That's a doozy. All right, let's get into this one. Howdy, Fi Guys. Howdy. That is us. Howdy. I'm a huge fan of your show, and honestly, I'm reaching out because I really need some guidance right now. Understandable. I'm 19 years old, living on the East Coast, and it seems like I'm about to be kicked out of my house. It's not 100% certain yet, but the tension in the home is really bad, mainly because I've been struggling academically. B's and C's for my grades, and one failing class. I was going to say B's and C's. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm going to be honest. For
Yeah, I know what they want.
when's the parade, baby? Like, let's keep it going. I was a terrible student. Only failed one class, though. That was in college, but that was good. Might have failed 2 classes in college. That being said, enough about my story. We're talking about yours. My mom is ready to push me out immediately, but my dad is the only reason I haven't been thrown out yet. But I don't know how much longer that will last. Here's my situation. I work about 23 to 25 hours a week at a job that pays decently. I have about $6,500 saved up. Wonderful, wonderful. I own my car outright, no car payments, beautiful. And I have a phone plan, but it's under my parents' account, so they'll likely cut that off when they kick me out. I have a sleeping bag, a backpack, and some essentials, a portable phone charger, and some clothes. Gotcha. 23-year-old starter kit. Cool. I'm trying to think worst case scenario plan. Totally. If I get kicked out, how do I survive? Where do I start? I'm especially stressed out about finding a place to stay. I don't know if I should sleep in my car or if there's a better plan. Keeping my job. Obviously, if I lose my job, it's game over. Dealing with insurance. I'm dealing with health insurance, and I'm a new driver, and they mentioned that the premiums are crazy high without my family coverage, and medical and dental coverage would be a big worry. Yeah, for sure. Long-term planning. How do I make sure that I'm not just surviving, but I'm actually building a better future from here? I feel completely lost. I'm trying to be responsible. I saved money. I'm working, but it feels like the rug is about to get pulled out from underneath me, and I don't know what my next move should be. If you were in my shoes at 19 with just a car, $6,500, and a job, no real support system, what would you do first? What would be your priorities? And what is the smart way to stretch my savings without sinking deeper and deeper into a hole? I appreciate you guys for even taking the time to read this, and you have no idea how much this would mean to me to get some solid advice from people who actually understand money and life struggles. From kicked out the door, but ready for more, I'm 19 and bold, chasing dreams untold. How about that? Interesting, man. If I had $6,500 at 19, man, oh man. And a paid off car. I did have a paid off car, but that's a good chunk of change. That's a good chunk of change at 19.
I was gonna say, at 19 years old, he's actually sitting better than like most people in their 30s. So to be fair, like it's all a matter of perspective. Yeah. And speaking of perspective, what is up with this mom, dude? Mostly A's and B's and failing one class. I have to imagine you're 19 years old, so you're probably a freshman in college. That is better than par for the course. Like, you're hitting a birdie. Like, good on you for having A's and B's and one failing class. Like, I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on here.
Let's get her transcripts. Honestly, let's pull up the records. Honestly, let's get the transcripts going here, because that is pretty solid. I feel like if don't take this as like a pass, but if you're not failing at least one class in college, did you really go to college? Like, the goal of college is to push yourself past what you think is possible. You know, I took an economics class and I got slaughtered. And I took a super advanced math class. I was literally trying my best. Slaughtered, just killed, murdered. But that's the point of college, right? To waste money and to learn new things that you are
and to party.
And party, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, the money is great. You know, I think I mean, if you blow through 6,500, I would imagine you're not going to blow through that pretty quickly. If you're sleeping in your car, expense wise, I would assume the biggest expenses there would be food and maybe a gym membership to shower and whatnot. There shouldn't be too many high expenses. You might even be able to save more money than being at home. But
my
yeah,
biggest thing isn't even like financial. Like, yeah, we're gonna get to the financial stuff here in a
yeah.
little bit, but my biggest thing is like, what is the relationship with your parents? Like, can you just sit down with mom and dad, but mainly mom, it sounds like, and be like, what is going on with you? I'm because to me, what I'm hearing is this person is working 25 hours a week. They have a decent job. They've saved up money. They have a paid off car, going to school. I'm guessing full time, getting A's and B's and failing one class. Like, what is it that she wants from him or her? Like, what are they not doing? Like, I get they're failing in one class. I get that. And if they're doing well in all these other places, like most people are getting C's and D's and F's and not working and going to college.
Yeah.
Like this person is saving up money. They're doing everything. Like you're 19 years old. You have money saved up. Like this is basically unheard of. And a paid off car. Like you sound financially, you sound like a responsible young man. What's up with your mom? Is she just like, she just hates you? Like what happened? Like, can you sit down and have that conversation with her? Maybe with your dad present, maybe without your dad present, maybe with like a family therapist or something like that. Cause it sounds to me like your mom is kind of just on one, and we can fix the finance stuff, but like regardless of what, your mom's still going to be your mom. And like you asked all these questions about like what happens about insurance and all this other stuff. Like I'm thinking like, is your mom really going to kick you out like that hard? Like kick you off insurance, drop you from literally everything, like your excommunicado John Wick style? Like how bad is this?
Yeah. And to be fair, I hope that, we're getting all the information, right? I hope that, you're a clean cut guy or girl, you're not doing anything illegal, nothing crazy. There's nothing else kind of surrounding those circumstances. I know sometimes it can be embarrassing to share certain details of, it's like, we get that. We totally get that. So we can only do as much as we can with the information we have. But based on the information we have, I like what Chris is saying though. I don't want there to be any resentment towards your mom or vice versa, right? I don't want there to be any hostility, any negativity. That stuff is dangerous to live with, and you just can't live with it for too long. So I love the advice of just sitting down with your mom. Hey, are we good? Like, what's going on? I mean, I know we're not good, right? But kind of get to the deeper why of it all, because on the surface, she's being a dick, she's being hard on you. Maybe that's her style, right? But try and understand where she's coming from, and that might help you to understand it more, and you might be able to bridge the gap. The gap might be closer than you think.
Yeah. I think it's important to go in there with the intention of learning the expectations, but also learning to learn what your mom's goals are, learn about herself, learn about all these things. Cause like you said, Dominic, they might be closer than they think. And who knows, maybe our friend here who's writing in, like they could be like, oh, I only shoot up heroin and bring my heroin buddies into the house, like only on the weekends. Like they could be leaving out huge portions. And like, maybe this has nothing to do with the grades, with anything like that. Maybe the mom's like, no, dude, it's because you're shooting up in my house, or like because you are shooting gun. Like I don't, like could be, there's so many other things. And this person's focusing on, oh man, it's my grades. Yet the mom's like, no, it's you're doing this. So that's where that honest conversation comes in. And I know it's hard to sit down and maybe talk with your mom and like have her just basically ring you over the coals if that's the case. And you need to go through that. As I promise you that will be a lot easier than getting kicked out of your house because of some miscommunication issue. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty of what you're actually asking though. So maybe let's just say you talk to your mom. Your mom's like not about it. She's like, no, I'm kicking you out because you got a C and mama only accepts A's. So you're done. Like that's just the way it works. Hopefully that's not the case. I doubt that is the case because she raised you for 19 years. I don't think she was just waiting till you hit 19 to like be like, yes, now we can do it. But I don't know. So the first thing I would do is you need to try to secure some safe shelter. So you can always go to Google, research local shelters, youth housing programs. Worst comes to worst, you can always ask your friends or your family just to couch surf as like a short-term option. I say your worst case scenario is you're sleeping in the car. Sleeping in the car, you get a $10 a gym freaking membership to
Like
Planet
EOS
Fitness.
Planet Fitness.
EOS.
Yeah.
Planet Fitness is cheaper. Yeah, just go in there, you take your shower, bathe, do whatever you need to do, or ask dad, like, hey, can I sneak in when mom leaves to like shower real quick or whatever you need to do.
Or raid the pantry.
Yeah. Can I just get some food? Please more.
Please, sir, may I have another? Okay. Okay.
The
Solid
big,
advice.
solid advice. The big thing I would do right now is you said you have a job that's 23 to 25 hours a week. That's solid. Now, solid, I don't know what that means, but if you are kicked out of your house, that income is going to be your lifeline. So I would try to maintain that reliable work as best as you possibly can. If, and this is a big if you need to leave school for a little while because you got kicked out of the house, and like, if you can maybe increase your work hours to 40 hours a week, like, I don't know what you're studying in school, but you are going to have to like make this determination. Is going to school for like a liberal arts degree and like basket weaving really worth 4 years of your life if you have a reliable job? I don't know. Maybe you're going in and you're studying engineering or something like that that's going to have like a good ROI. Make that choice. Who knows? Maybe that's what your mom's mad about. Maybe she wanted you to go into like the family profession and you're like underwater basket weaving and you're getting a F in that class. Like, that's a reason to be upset. Not a reason to kick you out, but a reason to be upset.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a determination you're going to have to make. Again, I'm making a lot of assumptions that I don't know the answer to. So you need to be the one to ask that question. But if you could maybe talk to your job and say, hey, is there a chance for me to increase my hours here to get in more income? That could be super helpful for you, especially if you might need to cut back some time on the class schedule. You can always go from full-time to part-time. You don't need to completely axe college. But I just don't like when people say like, oh, if you leave college, you can't go back. Like, that just because they didn't go back doesn't mean you can't go back. There's nothing in the law that says if you leave college, you're done forever.
Yeah.
When it comes to the car, protect it to the best of your ability. Don't drive like a crazy person. Don't do bad things. Prioritize to the best of your ability, keeping it maintained and insured. Shop around. That's the best thing I can recommend is shop around. Don't just go with one provider. Continue to look. In terms of cell phones, if you are kicked off, and this is a lot to say that your mom is not only going to kick you out of the house, but kick you off of everything. But if she did, there are so many prepaid ones that are out there. I know Mint Mobile is a big one, not a sponsor, but hey, Mint Mobile, if you're listening, like, reach out. We'd be happy to deal with something like that. But I know there's a lot of them that are just cheaper because they don't have the overhead of in-person stores. I hope right now you're kind of tracking your budget. Hopefully, like, at this point, you're not spending anything. You're living at home. Ideally, you're not eating out. You're not doing a lot of stuff because you're going to need to now have all the money that's going towards savings, most likely, go towards essentials like food, gas, car insurance, and a minimal phone plan, and maybe a little bit of housing, like paying a buddy. Like, can I sleep on your couch just for a little bit? Because you really need to make sure that you stretch that $6,500 and plan it out to go as long as possible to get you to this stabilization period where either the work picks up to 40 hours a week, or you find another job or another part-time job, or you leave work or whatever.
Yeah.
I would, if I was you and like this, and maybe the conversation with mom doesn't go well, I would start researching like room rentals right away. I wouldn't be looking for like a studio apartment. I'd be looking for like single bedrooms in like somebody's house. You're 19 years old. This is the time in life that you get to have your fun adventure of like going and like living in a situation that to mine and Dominic's life would be like unheard of. But this is the time where you're going to get to look back on your life and be like, yeah, I got to have all these crazy experiences because I moved into this house with whatever. If you can, I would definitely talk to dad and mom and see if you can stay on their health insurance at least, because health insurance will be a beast. That would be the biggest reason to go full-time at your current job, especially if it's good. Ideally, you can stay on their insurance, which you are able to stay on their insurance up to the age of 26. Unless they actively remove it, you should be fine for now. Again, that's if they don't actively remove it.
Yeah.
We talked about school, and the biggest thing I would do is, you've already started this, but reach out to trusted adults, whether it be mentors, teachers, extended family, anybody who can offer advice and support. We can offer as much advice and support as we possibly can based off just your letter. But there are people in your life, I'm sure, that you can turn to who know you personally. So I would say stay humble when you're talking to your mom, but stay determined to find peace with her, to understand where she's coming from, to understand her expectations for you. And remember that this is just temporary. All things in life will pass. This too shall pass. With good decisions now, this situation will not define your future. It'll just be a stepping stone to the next place that you're going to end up at. Which right now I know it's like, it sucks for me to just tell you, like, you're going to make it through it, man. Like, just keep on swimming.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the best I can do.
Well, we hope that helps. We wish you the best of luck, and feel free to write in anytime you guys want.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.